Hey YouTubers, hope you guys are doing good. I'm looking really kind of not good. I'm in bad lighting again. Um, Reason being is I had a tooth extraction today. It's like I can't I hear. See? Yeah, I had a tooth extraction. I had a tooth that had cracked. Well, really, what happened is I lost my feeling when I was in Orlando. So I lost my feeling. I went to Aspen Dental down there. I'll put them on blast. I don't care. So I went to Aspen Dental down there, and they did this whole exam, X-rays and everything, and they're telling me all the work I have to get done. And they told me, "Oh, you lost a feeling." I'm like, "Well, can we replace it?" They're like, "No, your mouth needs all this work done." Blah 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 blah. So me and family were like, "Okay, let's just wait till I get back to Arizona because it was costing me way too much money. I don't have health insurance. Still waiting on that, but that's a whole nother situation. And anyway, when I got back to states, oh not states, oh my god, when I got back to Arizona, it feels like a whole nother country. But when I got back to Arizona, um, after my dad died, my tooth cracked a little bit. Just a little bit. It wasn't like a whole bunch. We're like, okay, we'll wait. Thought I was gonna get health care. Thought I was gonna get this job, and then it cracks more after my brother's wedding just a couple weeks ago. Really, it wasn't even that, and there was like a hole, and it had a nerve exposed, and I was doing okay until after I came back from Camp Elevate. Then it really started hurting really bad. Then I was going up there, it was already kind of, and we were making plans to have my tooth fixed anyway. Well, it made me upset because when I went to Aspen Dental down here in Glendale, Arizona, they were like, "We could have saved your tooth." Well, it cracked when I was on my way back to Arizona the first time. And it cracked some more. A piece of, they said that they were not mad at me. They were mad at the Aspen Dental in Orlando because, near Hunter's Creek to be exact, because they could have saved my tooth. But they could have replaced the filling before it had cracked and everything. Because the other alternative was to try to save my tooth, do a root canal, and like put a crown on it. And that was A, too much money, and B, too much surgery because I still have to have more surgery done to my mouth. This was just procedure number one. So we're going to wait like a month or two before I have to go in for another exam and other surgeries and stuff like that because I need too much work to be done at the same time. And mouth surgery is, I think, I don't know if it's worse, but it's just as bad as like abdominal, gallbladder, that type of surgery. And I'm sorry it's been a minute. I was gone to California again this weekend for my cousin Kimberly's graduation from UCLA from the film theater school. I don't know. It's called TFT. I think they called it theater film, and I don't know what the other T is for. But she got hers in like musical theater, so that was really cool. Jane Fonda was the speaker. And I didn't know she was so controversial, but she was. Well, for some people, but that's a whole nother story. But really, what I wanted to do this today on is not culinary related. It's more so on people relations. Um, I got some distressing news today about a personal thing with me. Not with my mom or anything, or my sister or brother, but more relationship wise. That affects, would be relationship wise. And hearing from the Lord and what to do for the future. And it left me for the first time really in my life just kind of like numb, kind of like and the situation doesn't feel right. It's just what happened. It just is like, okay, God, this ain't right. You know it's right, but yet at the same time it feels like God is still about to do something in the midst of all that. Does it make sense? I can't really go into details. I told a good friend of mine, kind of like talked to her about it. I haven't really talked to my family about it. No, I don't want to involve all them. All I would just say is that in the midst of craziness, God is still in the details. And even though He's like writing your story, He's written your story. He's not even writing, He's written it. And He knows the end. And He knows what's going to happen through all the different cracks and corners and stuff. And if you feel like I feel, you have just like only a mustard seed of faith that know that, wait a minute, He ain't through with this yet. And it's not because, oh, I can't accept things for what they are and I'm being delusional and things like that. It's not even like that. It's just there's something in the pit of your gut, like in the deep recesses of your soul, where you just know, like, it ain't over until God says it's over. And He didn't say it's over. With that being said, it's also sometimes things where there's nothing you can do about it but let go and let God do His thing and let Him handle it. And let Him usher you through to the next phase of the story. Your story. In this case, my story. And immediately I wanted to doubt myself and doubt what I had heard and prayed and heard from Him and confirmation and all the other stuff. I know this is not really chefy, and if you think this is too super spiritual for you, sorry, I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just where I'm at right now. But what I'm saying is that sometimes even when everything looks like a nail on the surface, that's where emotions will really want to tell you, no way, I never. It's not going to happen. And you want to concede and give up and throw in a towel. And this is not just with a relationship. This is just with a lot of even areas of your life. Maybe you were praying about a job, school, car, whatever it is. And you know the thing. You're moving towards the path and you're doing, God's opening up doors and you're moving towards that path where you need to be at and what's going on. And then something comes up. It's like a curveball. Just boom in the face, wrecks you. And you just don't understand where it came from. I realize in these moments, although they're not fun, I thank God for these moments because they're really a test of our faith. You can't have a testimony without a test, right? So it's really a test of our faith to know that we heard correctly from the Lord and that the thing that we so believed in, do we really believe in it that much, And if you do, hold on to it. Even if it's like really, really, really minuscule, that is enough. But at the same time, recognize you can only do what you can do within your power, and you have to let God do the rest. Let Him usher you through this time. It might be that for you, you're going to school, you're thinking about getting your master's degree or associate's degree or bachelor's degree, whatever. And just, you're doing what you need to do. Things are moving and grooving, and then wham, a curveball out of nowhere. Maybe it's like a job. I've had these different curveballs of life where you're like, hey, God, I heard you. And God's good. He doesn't forget about us and His word doesn't return void. That's what the word says, the Bible. So it's a test of our faith, and I know in the end you'll come out stronger for it. I know I'm going to come out stronger for it and victorious, and I can't wait to be like, see, I told you. Yeah, it ain't over until God says it's over. He's just got to align some things and move some mountains for you and do a couple of different things. So really I'm just saying this just to encourage myself as well. But it's just real talk in life. You know, things you've been waiting on. I got a whole bunch of other stuff. Dude, I just feel like I'm in this holding pattern. Have you ever felt that way? Been like a holding pattern. It's for my whole future. And it's like, and then there's one area of that holding pattern, future stuff, where you thought it was going right and it was on the path, and then it just curveball. And with that, you can't ever predict what another person's going to do, especially when it comes to like relationship. You can just never predict um, what's going to happen and what's going to happen. You can just never predict. And other people are accountable for themselves. In a relationship, and I'll wrap this up because I wasn't meaning for this to go like 15 minutes, but one thing I learned about relationships from observing my grandparents, my parents, and other people, and my own dealings in relationships, and I'm talking about romantic relationships especially, is that you can't control what the other person's gonna do. You can't control their emotions. You can't control their morals or their values. You can only suggest things, and the best thing is to pray for them and with them if you have to. Well, you should, but for them. And then when things just take a turn, they're just like, out of circumstance or because mistakes were made, then you really just got to seek the Lord on what to do and trust He has your best interest at heart. And if you know within yourself, like, you just get this peace that's weird. It's weird to have, not that it's weird, but that it's this peace in your spirit, but your body's feeling like, I'm freaking out here and I can't believe this. But then your spirit is just like, okay, God, what do you want to do with this thing? And you have that peace that your story's not over. It's not over. And for some reason, He's allowing you to be ushered in this moment, to feel the emotions that you're feeling, to go through the things that you're going through for a great good and purpose. And maybe it's reconciliation, maybe it's to move forward, to make way for another relationship. I don't know. All I know, His grace is sufficient. And He is good. And that you just have to trust Him and trust the process. That's what I know. Trust Him, trust the process, because there's more to the story. And there's things to the story you don't even know about. So, I don't know who this is for. I know it's for myself too, but for anybody else, let Him usher you through the process. Let Him take you through this storm. Let you just have that peace in the midst of it, and just know that it's going to be all right. It will be all right. It ain't okay right now, but it's going to be all right. And that we will rejoice when we get to the conclusion of the matter. Right? Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'll have more uplifting things and happier stuff later on this week. Hopefully, I'm going to recover. I was supposed to did a couple of videos before I left, which I'll still have to post those maybe, or maybe try some editing on that. But definitely new stuff this week. So, like you, love you, and I do have a new blog. It's a relaunch of a blog. It's if you want to check it out, or please do, it's chefnewell.blogspot.com, or is it Blogger? Try both of them. I think you do Blogger or Blogspot, it takes you to the same place. But it's Chef Newell, NEWELL.blogger or blogspot.com. So, like you, love you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and leave your questions and comments down below. Love you. Peace, and let 'em usher you through the season. Bye, guys.